Hey guys, sorry, I'm a little sick today, so excuse if I'm a little low energy, but I wanted to get this video out because I haven't posted in a while. So, have you guys seen the Chainsaw Man movie? Let me check my analytics here. Let's see. Okay, out of my 6 subscribers, I know about half of you have seen it. So I'll talk a little about the plot and whatnot here, but I'll try not to get into blatant spoilers. That being said, if you haven't watched season one, you should. Like, watch season one before you watch the movie. And then while you're at it, just read the manga because, it's peak. That's the thing. The movie was peak, and then the manga gets even better. Like, if you haven't seen the show first, I don't think you need to enjoy the movie. It pretty much stands on its own and does a good job of reestablishing things without being too handholdy. I have a friend who raw dogged it with just some cliff notes on season one, and he still gave it like a 7 out of 10. Now, if I had to rate this movie, like genuinely, no glaze, no recency bias, maybe a little bias because I'm a big Chainsaw Man fan. This is one of the best animated movies I've seen, period. And that's coming from a big Chainsaw Man fan, to be fair. But honestly, I can't think of an animated movie that good that I've seen since like Into the Spider-Verse came out. And that's like how good of a movie we're talking about. There's some quality. For those who don't know, the Chainsaw Man movie is essentially season 2 of the anime. It covers the entire Riz arc from the manga, arguably the best arc in the manga in terms of sheer writing. But let me know in the comments what you thought about the pacing. I've heard some people say that the first arc dragged on a bit too long and that there was a little too much setup. But as the Chainsaw Man elitist I am, I do think that it was a necessary amount of time just to reestablish Genji's character. All in all, Chainsaw Man as a whole is really not a battle shonen in the typical sense. Like, the fights and the overarching narrative are definitely secondary to Denji's growth. Like most of my favorite shows, it's really a character study, if anything. The Rez or Rize arc, or however you want to say it, I think Riz, that's how I said it when I read the manga. It's especially effective in showing like the character of Denji and just what he represents in the story. That being said, forget every single fucking part of that. Like, oh, the fights aren't important, they don't matter, it's about the characters, whatever. Mappa was in the bag for this fucking movie. It blew me away. I saw like they changed the gritty art style of season one, and it had me a little worried, but god damn, I loved every second of watching this film. The second half of this movie was full on JJK Part 2 animation. I am not joking when I say that they literally just reskinned the Magoada fight. Magoaga cut that out from JJK season 2, and I could not be happier. Like, Bandai Namco is over here spending 6 years to like put out a slideshow and get bullied on Twitter. Mappa is still in the pocket. I can't even imagine how many poor Mappa employees were forced to work overtime to animate this masterpiece. This had twice the care put into it than the Demon Slayer movie, with a fifth of the budget. I found the first act of this movie alone more compelling than the 30-minute Akaza backstory. This movie really gives me hope that we can get genuinely good and well-made anime adaptations. Side tangent though, like the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle was pretty disappointing in my opinion. I will say I did like the Zenitsu going from geek to locked in, uh, like throughout this one, and it was funny seeing like the upper moon at the beginning just style on everyone, but I don't think the movie wanted us to root for the demons. Like, that being said, maybe me and my friends are just jaded unks who've seen too much isekai slop to enjoy a good show anymore, but I don't know. A lot of that movie felt very reflective of my overall problems with Demon Slayer, like carried by the animation. I think season 1 and 2 were really good, and like probably some of the most hype stuff I've seen. But it's gotten to the point where after 4 seasons of the same recycled formula, I think it's just gotten a little stale. I know what you might be saying. Wait, Justin, what about the characters? They were so complex and interesting. Like, how could you not be invested? Like the one who's scared a lot, or the one who is, loud. If you've seen the series, I think you know what I'm talking about. Like, at a certain point, when your story is that repetitive and you don't have compelling characters, or like really any characters with like personality traits, the story kind of gets stale after a while and you can't be invested. That, like, or I've just seen too many shonen and I'm like an elitist hater who just doesn't enjoy Peak anymore. I don't know. People I know definitely liked it, to say the least. A lot of people I know that I would not expect to have gone out and seen this movie were telling me I had to watch it because it was totally Peak. And I have mixed feelings about that. You know, I'm glad because it really does feel like anime is becoming mainstream. To have two feature-length films that both were global hits, like so close to each other, is great for the genre. Even if one of them was mid and the other one was like the Citizen Kane of shonen anime. But yeah, I do wonder if those people had seen a little more anime, or at least, I don't know, if they had a better idea of the kind of stories that the medium can tell. I think they would be a little more critical of it. Like the Akaza backstory. Loki, it was boring as hell. Sorry, like I know some people were like crying to it. I thought it was just like, you know, it's the same as all of the other demon backstories in the show. Like literally, there's like 10 of them, and I care a little less every single time. Yeah, and as a final thought, I'm sure if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you guys remember the scene with Tanjiro basically just goes Ultra Instinct against Akaza, sorry, spoilers, and the movie takes a whole 20 minutes of runtime to just try and explain like what the hell that is to the three people in the audience who haven't seen Dragon Ball, then I think you understand where I'm coming from here. Like the Chainsaw Man movie, you know, I think Demon Slayer tried a little too hard to appeal to new coming fans coming to watch the movie. I think the actual story suffered because of that. Like, Chainsaw Man threw you right in, assuming you've seen season one. And I think if you haven't, you should. But if you haven't seen season one, you can still watch this movie. You'll still enjoy it. You'll still find something out of it. And I think, honestly, if you watch the movie, it'll make you want to watch the show. But yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, also there's a ton of fan service in the movie. Sorry, it's Peak. Deal with it.